Yo. It's Chris Gotti Lorenzo. And we're giving him the business with me and my partner, Don Dinero.
Oye, hola, un dinero, Mr. Money for the gringo.
Okay, voila. You know, it's funny, we're doing another episode here. Just, everything's going on. We're in America, of course. And, there's a lot of things going on in the world that we wanted to kind of bring to light. This war being one of them and the effect it has on the economy, things of that nature, businesses that are being profited, these war profiteers, the making of bullets, tanks, planes. People are profiting consistently from all of this.
I think the main factor of this Russian invasion of Ukraine and the war that's happening is the gas prices.
You think that's the main focus?
No, that's where the average American can feel the war.
Oh, we feel that right now.
In the gas prices, right. So now that's how you can correlate. Say gas prices are up because of what's happening.
A direct correlation with the war.
Right. I personally feel it's just people taking advantage, these big gas corporations taking advantage of the average. Because honestly, look, if you're making people have to understand that if you make over $450,000 a year, you're in the 1%.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so a person who's making that, or someone who's making 100, if the gas goes up, if he has to fill up his tank and it used to be 60 and now it's 100, it won't affect him as much as the guy who's budgeting every penny right now, and all of a sudden the gas doubled and he doesn't know how to double his income, and that's affecting his bottom line.
Oh yeah.
So I think those are the people that are affected by the war, besides the actual Ukrainians and everyone that's actually happening. What is Putin's bottom line? Like, what is the business play? Is it really about taking over the land? There's so many different things that are out there. And at the end of the day, people are saying Ukraine wanted to join NATO. He doesn't want them to join NATO. You have guys in the Republican ranks that say, hey, Russia can do what they want. There's a lot of different plays here. But I know at the end of the day, all world economies and the money is being affected.
I know all my flights is going up because
of course,
man,
doubled.
Yeah, just because
I used to go to Florida
these
for
jet fuel
$100.
prices is going up. Man, they got to stop this war. I got to keep flying.
Now, you just said something interesting. I mean, how would they stop a war they just started when they're trying to? I'm just trying to figure out what's the play on both sides. I know America's involved some way, somehow. Now, Biden's talking about Putin, and there's a back and forth, which we never really had a buddy situation with them. But I'm still trying to figure out what the money play is. What do you think?
Well, again, I think it's partially is the land. They want that land. They want to reclaim that. I believe the Ukraine was part of Russia, the USSR before,
and they became a democracy
and went on their own, exactly as a democracy, and started their own. And then now,
well, Russia's still a communist regime,
yes,
kind of like the Chinese. So is the play here democracy versus communism? Is that the play? Is that Ukraine? If Ukraine ends up winning the war and becomes a democracy, is that the money play?
I'm not a political person, but one of the things that whenever there's war, it's over money. It's, again, so I think if it's over territory and they're saying they want the territory, maybe there's some wealth inside of that land they didn't realize that they want back.
Could be.
It could be oil. Who knows? I don't know the exact real problems, but what we want to know is where's business, how does it affect the businesses that we deal with day to day? Just the gas prices, again, is a direct correlation to that business.
I mean, he's destroying a bunch of cities and towns and killing people.
And then they're going to rebuild it, right? Or, there's going to be a ton of money to be rebuilt. It's weird. It's Rick Ross said something in one of his songs. He said he was glad Trump was the president. He said, because we got to destroy before we rebuild.
Right.
Saying and that's, so maybe there's something to that also, that they're trying to, break it down just to fix it back up, or, and again, lives are lost. But when I looked at, I value body lives. I don't want body counts. I don't want to downsize the importance of human life. That's not the case at all. But for a war, I see the the amount of people that died in it is not a big number, of people, of casualties.
Right.
To me, which is also lets me know that Putin, with all his power and all his resources, is being very strategic in how he attacks, because he could easily attack and kill a lot more people than by the last
Do you
count.
think he wants the war to go on longer? Does he want to end it? Maybe he wants to prove his point. Like,
I think he's stuck right now. I honestly think he made a move that he didn't really want to make, but he called people's bluffs, and he had to keep going, personally. And I think he's
he
stuck
made a mistake,
in
maybe?
between. Of course,
I know
we're
they
in
try to-
2022.
they try
War
to
is
lock
not a
his-
solution.
Talking about business play, I think every company pulled out of Russia.
Everything, yeah. All business.
majority of the big-
I know Apple and all these big companies, they all withdrew from Russia, which I commend them on. That is a beautiful stand and to show. We stopped taking any imports from Russia. Like, that's a big deal. Like,
But that also shows scary that at any time they can just shut an entire country down.
they're
Think about
they're
it.
not shut down, right?
I mean, from an economic standpoint, you
they
can't
just
use your
now
Apple
they don't
Pay.
have Apple. So what? They probably have.
McDonald's, they have a lot
They
of
have
different-
probably Orange over there. They don't have Apple.
Right, I'm just saying that,
So,
I'm assuming that they'll figure it out, but, there's a lot of situations going on right now that it's like, wait a second, like, whoa.
Yeah.
It could just happen like that.
It's a very weird thing when I see this, because in 2022, I don't believe we should be at war with anybody. We're so
Talk to Putin then.
we should be way more advanced as a human being, from a society of people.
Is
No
this
matter
a play
what
for the
country,
New
what
World
language, what race, it doesn't matter. We should be civilized enough. We're not Neanderthals anymore. We're not animals. We should understand that. We've learned from our past. We should understand how to build and grow.
Batman's part of the Illuminati. Do you think that's a play for the New World Order?
Who's Illuminati? I don't know who he said.
Him right there. Batman.
Oh, Batman.
Right.
Salman.
Salman is
Salman
fucking...
is part of the Illuminati.
So he would know, is this
He's with us.
a New World Order? But, hey, is it a New World Order play right now? Like this war, like to say, hey, if we were all together, this would never happen. I don't know.
I don't think Ukraine is big enough for a new world order. If it was a world war with us, we are the big dogs still in all of these different countries, and they understand that. They understand that, one of the things America did was spend so much money to protect this land, right? It's the reason we say it's the best place.
Yeah, but I don't think
be.
anyone would reach us here. That most of the wars we got involved with in other lands.
It was other lands, but
here we are in Ukraine. Could they drag us into this war?
But we're not in the war.
No, I mean, could it drag us in?
We will not get involved unless certain things are rules are broken from this war. The war. What do they call that? Like there's laws for war. How you go in.
Right.
You just can't make things. All these nations came together and made these pacts. Yeah. If we do have war, this is what it is. So America is only saying we're not going to send you none of our goods. We're not buying none of your goods. All of these big corporations said we're pulling out, and that's how we're boycotting, let's say, Russia right now for war to affect their economy, their business, and everything. And plenty of that is real profit lost for this country, for that country.
Countries like Iran that are with the Russians. You have Syria. You have other countries that are kind of saying, "Hey, we're down with you."
Absolutely, this could. If it went,
and a lot of these countries have those
wrong turn, this would turn
governments.
into a World War III, because if we move, there's going to be a lot of other countries that move also to support Russia, and then we'll get the support of all our allies, and that would be the World War III. That's what
I'm saying.
we make it.
God forbid. God forbid, but this is, to me, if you look at a chessboard, somebody to me just made the first move.
Oh yeah,
right.
Putin
made the first move.
I believe he understands he fucked up, though.
Again, time will tell. We'll see, because
he doesn't want to look bad. So he's like I said, he is not punishing.
I didn't know the gas is like $4 right now.
They have, Russia has incredible resources from a military standpoint. And Ukraine is a very small place, and they're not flexing all their muscle on them by no stretch of the imagination, which to me means it's by design. That is not
Right.
That's not by accident. It's by design. And so Putin is saying, "Hold up, let's not," and that's because
I heard
he
Putin
knows
was telling his people it's just a military exercise. It's not.
that's how he's treating it because they're so small. And again, when I seen the amount of casualties, as sad as even one is because of the waste of this war, in my opinion, it's not necessary. Even one casualty from it is one too many. But it's still a very small amount of casualties. The number could be tremendously higher if Putin wants to make it that.
Right.
If he wants to make a bloodbath, he can do it. They have the sophistication, the savvy, the know-how, the resources to do it without a question. So there's a reason he's not, and it's really his people. At the end of the day, the Ukrainians are Ukrainian Russians, right?
Again, I don't know how that region
the
works,
language
but I'm
is pretty much
assuming
the
they're
exact
kind of
same. I know both Russians and I know Ukrainians. Ukrainians, at the end of the day, very similar look, dialect, everything.
right.
It's sad. It's like it's their brother fighting brother. It's like, what are you guys doing? I don't understand.
Again, Putin has a reason, I guess, and we don't. No one seems to know what it is. I guess it's weird.
I look at everything going on, and I hate dwelling on negativity. So it's hard for me to watch or even talk
but
about.
we're talking about it because war is there's a business involved. There's a money play. There's guns, weapons. What Ukraine lacks is a ton of weapons or tanks, and they're trying to get them in. And
In the history,
I think they're bordering Poland and another country, and they're trying to help them out. So, those are things that Ukraine's going to have to owe somebody.
yeah.
Right? They're not just signing
In the
off.
history of war, it has always been a very business-like part of it after the fact, after it's over. The rebuilding of nations, countries, right after we destroy, we build it up, huge contracts to fix it up.
Right.
I mean, people make billions off of the bullets, the tanks, all of that. One of the biggest things when who pulled out of Afghanistan? When we pulled out of Afghanistan, when we pulled out, the biggest thing is how much equipment we left over there. They said over 200, almost $300 million
Taliban
worth of
supposedly took
equipment
over
from
it.
planes, tanks, just abandoned it and left. This is America, and this is the reason that there were, God willing, will never be a war fought on America's soil, right? Then we could potentially be bombed, but there won't be troops over here.
But they also say that because of these amendments that we have the most armed citizens out of any country in the world.
Yes.
We have more citizens armed in this country, and this is another reason why it's hard
We have
to
the
fight
right
a
to
battle.
bear arms.
And it's another reason why it's hard to fight a war on our soil because there's so many citizens that are armed besides the troops that'll be here. Besides, and that's kind of why what makes this country kind of unique and why these laws is because any other country knows. Listen, you jump on there. You can't just run through the streets like
Grandma
you do
might
anywhere.
have that thing.
Everybody got that thing.
She might pull that street sweep out on your ass.
So besides the National Guard, we have one of the greatest. Besides our regular armies that are out there, we have one of the greatest National Guards. So every state has their own army. But that's what the National Guard is.
Yes.
Every state, by law, is required to have their own army.
Yes.
To defend that state, right? So when the National Guard, unless they all come, but the National Guard from Wisconsin doesn't come to New York State. New York State has their own National Guard. So this is kind of why we spend so much on the military. I've been on that end, and yes, we are the greatest. Majority of the arms that other nations have are things that we've created or we've sold to them. So, but yeah, I think the play has to be there where he wants to take over that country or teach somebody a lesson. I don't know. I just don't understand how it benefits him if all this shit's going backwards. I don't get it.
And I think he understands he made a mistake, but again, ego. ego right now, pride is a big part of why he's not backing down.
You
And
think
just
he'll negotiate and make peace?
not right away. He's gonna have to in time, but how long will it last? I don't know. But again, when you look at the map here, we got the globe here, and you go to it. Watch the album, brother. Watch the album.
Oh, my bad. It was right there.
The Cable album.
I was right
But
up
when
here.
you go to it and you see it, and you see Ukraine, the size of it, it's really like a state to us. It's like Florida or something. Imagine that.
Look, Ukraine is right here, and it's all the way on the western part.
But it's very small in size compared to Russia.
Of course.
So again, imagine the United States trying to take over just New York. It wouldn't be a problem at all. So that's why I said he probably understands that he probably shouldn't have done it. He's probably been told, hopefully, God willing. But again, what he's creating is a lot of business opportunities because they have to rebuild. Right. And there's going to be construction crews. That's the first thing they do is give out these huge contracts, and these construction workers go overseas, go there to build, refix everything. They did it in Iraq, Afghanistan, everywhere. They do it exactly just like that to go build back after it's destroyed. So there's a ton of money there, but that again, the warmongers, the warmongers that pump war again is because of the money that's generated in all of the war equipment. Like I said, the bullets, the guns, the protective gear, everything for the soldiers.
I mean, the amount of money that's spent, someone mentioned they spent 63 or 68 billion. The Russians alone, who knows what we spent on military. It's big business.
Oh, man. I know that America spends the most. And
that's why I think we're so respected, because of all the money we do spend in the technology, and we're always ready and we're always training. But it's, a massive amount of our budget goes to the military.
Huge amounts. And again, it's like I said, it's why they say America's the best country, because of the freedoms we have, and partially is because they never feel we'll have a war fought on these soil. I mean, unless it's a civil war.
Yeah, and again, but a war is definitely big business.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut this episode right here and let you know that again, I don't like talking negative. I don't like dwelling on it. So this wasn't an easy topic for me to go into, especially with lives lost. I send prayers out to all the families that it affected.
But we just want to let our viewers know that really, when they go to war, it's really all about money.
It's all about money.
Business, and that sacrifices the lives that those soldiers they put in the front lines to accomplish their end goal, their mission.
Yeah, and it's sad. Those young men and women, even children that are dying. It was sad when I looked at those numbers, and it's, again, me personally, I just have a hard time with stuff like that. I don't want to live in that space.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? And we always have a good time here on this. This was just one of the rougher issues for me to talk about. But with times and everything, it's very important that people understand how it affects import, export. Like we just said, gas prices, everything is affected. Even when you get down to it, it could easily affect clothes prices, everything, because of gas. Like I said, your flights go up
your
because
vacation
of gas
is going to cost you
prices.
more than this year.
Everything goes up because of what's going on, and so we are all affected by what's happening over there in Ukraine and with Russia invading over there. So I'm gonna just sign out, saying this is Chris Gotti Lorenzo, giving him the business with my partner
Don Dinero. Peace.
Yeah, peace for everybody.
Chicken grease to the Middle East. Swiggy.